Not too long ago, I reviewed the Rode VideoMicro 2, which is a fantastic little mic, and in that video, I kind of compared it to the original VideoMicro, talking about some of the design changes, and did some audio examples and comparisons there. So if that interests you, I highly encourage you to check that video out. But I got a lot of feedback in that video wanting to compare that microphone to the Rode VideoMic Go 2, which I thought was a pretty good idea. So went to B&H and was actually a few bucks off, so went out and bought one of those to kind of compare to the VideoMicro 2. And well, I already had the VideoMic NTG laying around, so figured I'd kind of throw that in the mix and kind of compare these three microphones and make a sort of Rode VideoMic series onboard shotgun microphone comparison video, if you will. So if that interests you, then stick around and we'll kind of explore some of the similarities and differences and do some sound comparisons between all three of these mics. And I'll leave chapter markers and stuff below so you can skip to whatever part that you want to. That said, let's go ahead and jump into the first thing, and that is price. So the Rode VideoMicro 2 comes in at $79 US, the VideoMic Go 2 at $99 US, and the VideoMic NTG at $249 US. But recently I've been seeing the VideoMic Go 2 and the VideoMic NTG kind of go lower in price, so that's something to consider. Prices always fluctuate, so just be sure to check all the links in the description to get the most up-to-date pricing. So with those prices, what do you actually get with these microphones? Well, with the VideoMicro 2, you get a windscreen, a furry windshield, the WS12, a TRS cable, a TRRS cable, and a shock mount. The VideoMic Go 2, on the other hand, comes with a windscreen, a TRS cable, and a shock mount, but it does not come with the WS12 furry windscreen that comes with the Rode VideoMicro 2. As for the VideoMic NTG, it comes with a shock mount, windscreen, a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, a USB Type-C to Lightning cable, and a 3.5mm to 3.5mm cable to be able to connect to your camera. The other thing is it does not ship with a furry windscreen, so if you wanted to get a furry windscreen that's kind of like the dead cat thingy, then you're going to have to purchase that separately, which also adds to the investment of the overall mic. Now, as for design and build of these mics, one thing that they all have in common is this annular tube design. Not only is it functional, but it really helps with directionality, and this design kind of comes from their NTG5, which is a more higher end microphone. So they all kind of look similar, they look really cool, but they are all very functional. Now, if you look at the very front of these microphones, if I were to show it this way, they look pretty much identical in diameter. And actually, if you look at Rode's website, the VideoMic Go 2 and the NTG say that they are 22mm in diameter, and the VideoMicro 2 is 21.6mm in diameter. So for all intents and purposes, they are pretty much the same in diameter, but the biggest difference you're gonna find is in the length of these microphones. All right, real quick, I wanna talk about some of the features with these microphones. Don't worry, we're gonna get into the comparisons here in a second, but I wanna talk about some of the features that really stand out to me, starting with the Rode VideoMicro 2. First of all, it is the most simplistic design of the three. It only has this 3.5mm output here, so no other things you have to worry about. It takes plug-in power, meaning there's no battery that's in here that you have to charge or worry about dying out in the future. It means it's always going to be able to run no matter what, so it's super cool there. The other great thing is it's the most affordable, it's the smallest and the lightest microphone of the bunch. And lastly, it includes the furry windscreen when you purchase the mic, which with the other two microphones, you actually have to purchase the windscreen separately, which is kind of a bummer. Now with the VideoMic Go 2 on the other hand, it's just a little bit heavier and a little bit longer, but the benefit here is you have a USB Type-C port on the side in addition to the 3.5mm output here. Now the cool thing about this is you can actually plug this up to your computer and use this as a USB microphone for your computer, and then you can kind of use this as a direct monitoring source. So you can plug headphones into this to be able to monitor what you're hearing. And when you open up the Rode Central app, you can unlock more features with this microphone, such as a high pass filter, input gain, and all that kind of stuff. The only problem is there that you can't actually save those settings to the microphone, so you can only access those settings when you're actually using it with the computer. And lastly is the VideoMic NTG. As you can see here, or maybe from the B-roll, it's all scuffed up and scratched. It's because I've had it for a couple years and I've put this thing to a lot of use over the years, and I've taken this thing all over through the mountains and everything, and it has held up really, really, really good. So it's a little bit longer than the other microphones and a bit heavier than the other two microphones, but With that added weight in there, you actually have an internal battery, and that helps kind of power it to kind of get more output out of it, which is really nice. And then you have things like this manual gain control knob on the back. You have a high pass filter, a pad, a high frequency boost, and you also have this little safety channel, which is really cool. So basically what that means is when you send this into your camera, if you have that safety channel on, you're gonna have a track, and I can't remember exactly how many decibels lower the safety track is, but that means if you have some really loud noise or something like that, you actually have that safety track to pull from to be able to make sure that you don't have clipped audio or something like that. So it's really cool that it has all these features built in, and a lot of those things that you saw on the Rode Central app that the VideoMic Go 2 can access, the VideoMic NTG kind of has those settings built onto the microphone. So no matter if you're plugged into a computer or your camera or whatever the case may be, you have all those neat features built in. And the last thing in my opinion is I think the VideoMic NTG is the best sounding mic out of all these. However, it is also the most expensive. But that said, let's go ahead and jump into some comparisons, listening to these three different microphones so you can make the judgment call for yourself on what you think sounds the best. Okay, real quick, we'll do an indoor test kind of comparing these three microphones, and they will be mounted on the A7S Mark III, and you can see it's kind of about arm's length away from me as I am talking. And now this would be a good time to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Cuts Clothing. I'm super excited. I just signed on with them as an ambassador for 2023. Super pumped, really dig their clothes, and couldn't be happier about partnering with Cuts. Now you may be wondering why I'm partnering with a clothing brand on a YouTube channel that is predominantly about filmmaking. Well, the answer is simple. Number one, I really like their clothes, I really dig their clothes. But number two, I think they're the perfect clothes to wear on set. Not only do they look professional, but they're also really comfortable. And I like it because they don't have a ton of branding all over the clothes, so you kind of just blend into the set and you don't like stand out. The last thing you want to do is stand out with flashy shirts and clothes and everything on set. So it's really comfortable. Like this black shirt that I've got on right here, I really like, and it's got this nice kind of stretchier material, but also like the way that it's cut, no pun intended, but it kind of is longer in the front and in the back, and that's really good for if you're lifting up C-stand arms or something like that. You're not going to reveal any part of your body that nobody else on set may want to see. So that's awesome. And then they just came out with these new pants that are super comfortable, and definitely going to wear these on set. I just got these in, and yeah, so pretty stoked on Cuts Clothing. You'll hear a little bit more about them here in the coming months, but pretty stoked. So far, that's pretty much it on Cuts Clothing. But how do you think the VideoMic Go 2 sounds? In my opinion, I think they sound pretty similar to the Rode VideoMicro 2. All right, now and lastly, we got the VideoMic NTG here on the A7S Mark III, and I've got the gain control knob cranked all the way up to max so that I could bring the preamps on the camera down. So previously, I was at a setting of 10 gain volume on the A7S III, and now I've changed it down to 3. If you can see here, no, yeah, it's too blurry. You can't even see that. So now I'm at level 3, which is nice because it takes the preamp noise of the camera down. So now you can get an idea of how this sounds. Now, in my opinion, I personally think the NTG sounds the best out of the 3, but you also pay for that audio quality with the price tag being much higher than the VideoMicro 2. So you can kind of get an idea there. Like I said, I think it sounds much richer and more full-bodied. It sounds like I'm describing a wine now, so it's got hints of blueberry and chestnut. So it's just a delicious sounding mic. But all right, in all seriousness, let's go outside. Let's talk about some of the handling noise. Let's just show you the handling noise of the shock mounts, see how well they do, get the windscreens on, and we'll just kind of do some vloggy stuff and kind of get some off-axis rejection stuff. And then after that, we'll kind of talk about what I think about these different microphones and what I would recommend to anyone looking at these 3 microphones. So that said, let's head outside. That's super sketchy. Anyways, oh, there's one right there. Dang, that's intense. All right, I am on the Rode VideoMicro 2 right now. I've boosted the gain in the camera back up to 10 so we can get good levels here. So yeah, just kind of walking and vlogging. I don't really know what to talk about during this part other than I think the Rode VideoMicro 2 sounds really good. Now there is some kind of headwind on me, so I guess some tailwind here on the Rode VideoMicro 2, so maybe get an idea of how that windscreen sounds. So kind of get an idea of that. Here's some handling noise. You're kind of hearing the little Peak design straps. Here's some handling noise. All right, here now with the VideoMic Go 2, seems like the wind kind of picked up a little bit, so you can get an idea. Sorry I don't have any like city cars and all that kind of stuff, but in the suburbs. So this is what you get. But I'm on a really cool open space next to some birds with the avian flu apparently. So that's depressing. But again, we got this wind kind of blowing in my face, so you can kind of get an idea of how the windscreen, the furry windscreen, is working. Now, when I did my VideoMicro 2 review, I had the windscreen on, but I realized that when I actually looked at it, it wasn't actually pulled back all the way. So I'm wondering if that was, I had some wind noise in that video, and I'm wondering if for some reason I didn't pull it all the way back, and that's what was going on with the wind noise in that. So there's that. I don't know if you can see, but it's right over there. A bird flew. That's super intense. Anyways, that's really sad. But now we got the VideoMic Go 2 on here, like I said. Now here's some kind of like handling noise again. Some of those clicks were the little Peak design straps and stuff. I purposely did not take those off because, well, this is how I would use this camera in a vlogging setup. I always keep those little Peak design straps on here no matter what, and I am super duper out of breath right now. Okay, now I'm on the VideoMic NTG, so you can get an idea how this sounds outside. Got some of that breeze. My head's probably blocking it, so we'll turn this way so you get an idea. I don't know how this is gonna sound. I'm not trying to sell you one microphone over the other. All I'm trying to do is show you how it really works in the real world, and you can kind of make the decision for yourself what sounds the best and all that good stuff. So this is, like I said, the VideoMic NTG. There's some handling noise. There you go. All right, now 2 other tests I want to do real quick. Number 1, I want to do a distance test and figure out how to do this somewhat scientifically, and then an off-axis rejection test so you can get an idea of how that sounds. And the reason why I want to do a distance test is I have a theory that the longer the microphone, the better that it's going to sound further out. So let's put that to test. All right, VideoMic NTG, about arm's length away, 16mm on the A7S III to kind of give you some reference points for where we're at. All right, we're on the VideoMic Go 2 now, and about arm's length away, so you can kind of get an idea if this sounds, should sound pretty similar to the vlogging style walking around that we were doing. And then VideoMicro 2, arm's length away, you get an idea how that sounds. Again, should sound pretty similar to the VideoMic Go 2. So let's move 10 feet away-ish. This is how the VideoMicro 2 sounds. My guess is it doesn't sound quite as good as the VideoMic Go 2, but it might sound pretty similar. Who knows? I haven't heard it yet. I'm not talking any louder or any different. This is just kind of normally how I feel like I should talk to a camera that's 10 feet away from me. Don't normally do this, so I feel about as awkward as you watching this right now. Probably wouldn't want to be any further away from my audio source or dialogue, whatever I'm trying to capture, than this, because otherwise it's going to start blending in. Okay, now for some off-axis rejection goodness, and the only way I could seem to find a way to do this consistently out here is to play a song. This is on the Music Bed playlist. I am subscribed. Hopefully this is on the subscription roster. Otherwise, probably won't put this part in the video. But now we are on the Rode VideoMicro 2, so let's see how this sounds. All right, what about the VideoMic Go 2? Let's hear. I like this song. All right, VideoMic NTG. Let me know in the comments which one you thought was best. All right, so my final thoughts on these microphones and kind of where I think they lie and who I think they should be for, or not who they think they should be for. I'm not gonna go tell someone what to do with their money, but if it were me and how I would use these and what considerations I would make, maybe that's a better way of putting it. So if absolute sound quality and audio quality and features are important to you, then I think the VideoMic NTG is the way to go. It definitely has the best audio quality, and there are some like safety features in there that just kind of make it a more versatile mic for kind of more serious filmmaking, and you could even use it to like, you know, boom overhead for interviews and stuff like that. So like, you know, working on like running gun mini docs and all that kind of stuff. And I've used this mic quite a bit for mini docs and whatnot. So I think for that kind of thing, the VideoMic NTG is really where it's at. The only consideration, really honestly, with this mic, well, there's two. Number one, the size. And the other thing is you got to remember to charge the battery up. There has been one or two times where the microphone was dead and I couldn't use it. Luckily, I had a backup microphone with me. So that is one consideration to think about with the NTG. Now, between the VideoMicro and the VideoMic Go 2, honestly, unless you need to use your microphone in your computer, which I never do. If I'm on a Zoom call, I'm just gonna wear like AirPods or something like that with my Mac. So unless you need the ability to plug into your computer, honestly, I would say go with the VideoMicro 2. I think it's a better value. You get the windscreen included with it, so it's not an additional investment like you have with the VideoMic Go 2. And honestly, I think they sound pretty similar. And even if you look at like the frequency response and the polar pattern charts and everything on the website, on Rode's website, they are basically identical. I couldn't tell any difference between the two charts unless they like accidentally copy the chart from the VideoMic Go 2 into the VideoMicro to white paper or whatever. So what that's telling me is they're pretty much identical mics, and they sound almost exactly the same. And in fact, I did a quick little test on like loudness just to get an idea of if one mic was louder than the other, whatever the case may be. And what I found was the VideoMicro 2 was actually just a little bit more sensitive, a little bit louder than the VideoMic Go 2. Not crazy amount different, not like the VideoMic NTG loud difference or the difference of the original VideoMicro versus the Micro 2, but I was surprised to see that the smaller, shorter, less expensive mic was a little bit more sensitive. And if you go on their spec sheet and you look at the ohm impedance and thing, I think that has to do with it. But the ohm impedance is just a little bit, just slightly higher on the VideoMicro 2 than the VideoMic Go 2. So with all these considerations, if you're looking for like just a vlog mic that you can just kind of go plug and play and everything, honestly, I think the VideoMicro 2 is a better buy than the VideoMic Go 2. I think they're both good microphones, but honestly, I don't see a big difference in sound quality. And this is a good off-axis rejection test right now with the VideoMic NTG. There, dude. Keep us safe for whatever you're doing up there. All right, where was I? Yeah, okay, so the Micro 2, honestly, I think it's a better buy. The only reason why I would maybe go for the VideoMic Go 2 is if you needed to plug it into your computer. Anyways, I love all these microphones. I think they're really good, but that's just kind of what I think. How's it going?
You recording yourself?
Yeah, for YouTube. Thanks, I need it. I'm terrible at this. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope this was helpful or entertaining or something. This is videos all over the place. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.